What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon Kindle and Create Space. This video is entitled Becoming Intellectually Independent. Watching something on Facebook yesterday with Malcolm X talking about, when the Negro becomes intellectually independent, that's a good sign of freedom. And I'm going to touch on it. I think we're like at a precipice of, in general, because I didn't know how to bring up this topic because of people in my comment section at times. Not understanding that I don't have to think like the quote-unquote mainstream America. I remember when some of the conservatives and Republicans, I'm getting off the plantation of the liberal quote-unquote plantation. And my thing was, there's a conservative plantation too. Now, the thing about that is this: a Republican plantation, Democratic plantation, Republic, whatever. Here's the thing. I've noticed some videos when I just speak my mind, and when other brothers speak their minds, it's not quote unquote mainstream. It's the issue, and people feel like, you got to think how I think. No, actually, I don't. No, actually, we don't. When you become intellectually independent, thinking how other people want you to think. I'm going somewhere. When people want you to think like they want you to think, it's for their benefit. See, when you become intellectually independent, you're thinking for yourself, and it's for your benefit. And I think that's that's the big issue in this, is that, when you become intellectually independent, you start to follow self-preservation, which is the law of the land. Because you can't really preserve yourself when you're thinking like somebody else. Because, as we black people say, you can't do that. Why? Because you're not white. So when you're thinking white, it doesn't benefit you. You're thinking Asian, it's not going to benefit you. You're thinking Hispanic, it's not going to benefit you. You get what I'm saying? So everything that's going on right now, sometimes the reason we're taking losses in life is because we're intellectually dependent. And what I mean by dependent, America indoctrinates you into a Caucasian mindset. But even when we learn it and work it properly and can beat people at their own game, they're just going to change the rules. So that's cool to learn it, but should you think it? Should that be your daily action and activity? I don't think so. I don't think so. Because when you're thinking for yourself, you're able to think, you're able to understand what's in front of you and be able to maneuver inside of it and think outside of the box and maneuver outside of it. And I think that's one of the issues with our community, is that some of us have become and are becoming intellectually independent, and other people are not. And it's a clash of ideologies of, well, how come you just won't do it this way? This way is the right way. Who says that way is the right way? What's worked for mainstream America has never worked for us, ever. Now, are there exceptions to the rule? Absolutely. Do the exceptions make the rule? Absolutely not. So, we have this issue. And to me, that's a big problem. Because you got like-minded people at odds with people that they aren't on the same page with. And we don't have the time to bring people up to speed, especially people who are unwilling to get up to speed. So I'll preface it and say this. We don't have the time to bring people up to speed who don't want to be up to speed. Because no matter what we do in this country or outside of this country, it won't be successful unless we're intellectually independent. Unless we're thinking about ourselves first. You know, people was Wakanda forever. Wakanda was thinking about Wakanda. They thought like Wakandans. That was their mindset. They didn't care about it wasn't their mindset to think about how would they see me first. They don't give a shit about that. And this is the thing about, you know, starting to think about American society. You got to know where you at. You have to be aware of your surroundings. But you don't have to surround yourself with these situations. You know. And this is what happens when we talk about business. One of the issues was people thought the white man's ice is colder. But ultimately, you got to move past that. We didn't say there's a group of us who thought the white man's thoughts are better. So if we do it their way, that's real. That's the problem. That's the problem. You know why I know? And I know it's a problem because anytime somebody tries to make a point, and a white man said it, I don't give a shit if a white man said it. I give a shit if it's right or if it's wrong. If a dude's white, that doesn't give more validity to it. But for groups of people, it does. And as long as that alone gives things validity, this is how you keep screwing yourself over. Because you want to be seen as something in the eyes of white people. That's your business. But as for me, and people like me, I want to be good in my eyes first. I want to be good in my people's eyes. Then I worry about the rest. You know, I'm going to think about me and mine first. I'm going to think how me and mine think, or how me and mine should think. I'm not going to have a black body in a non-black mindset. And unfortunately, you know, people bring up, and I thought about it when Malcolm X was talking about it. And I also thought about people love Muhammad Ali now, but they hated him then. But at the same time, they had to respect him because he thought he was, you know, intellectually independent. He knew who he was, what he was about, and what his people was about. He was willing to make sacrifices that other people weren't willing to make. He was willing to say things other people seemed to be afraid to say or scared to say. And he didn't care. He stood on it because he thought like a black man. Malcolm X thought like a black man. Question is, how many of us are thinking like that? You know, and how many of us want to think like that? Because, you know, you could make a point where to say that, you know, some people will take a payment to not be intellectually black anymore or intellectually independent, and that's on them. You know, but to me it's the same as to thine own self be true. You know, if you can't be true to yourself, then who's thinking for you? And if you can't think for yourself, then somebody is going to think for you. That's what the television is for. The television tells you what to think. That's what the music that you listen to is for. It tells you what to think. That's what the books you read is for. That's what the books that they teach, give you in school are for, to tell you what to think. When are you going to think? This is why people are able to be marketed to, are able to be talked up and talked down and manipulated, is because at the end of the day, somebody else controls your thoughts. So I'm just saying, control your own. We out, yo.